whenever I go to school, I always see this girl. Not particularly that we see each other, but particularly I see her. And whenever I go to school, I notice that our rooms were just besides each other. So for a few months that this keeps happening, I actually implanted the thought that I wanted to talk to her. Not particularly because I like her or anything, but mostly because interested on who she is, where she's from. Just typically social stuff. And so, when I actually planted that in mind, I didn't really know how I should do it until just recently when I did talk to her. And this is how it goes. This day was really quite a bit normal. The morning, we just finished our subject and didn't really do anything. And I just recorded some videos just to use for our film set, which we were tasked to do by teachers. And after the morning class, I went home and ate my lunch, and suddenly our teacher called and she said at 1 p.m. we're gonna be excused for our afternoon class since we have an event to go to this reading of honors thing which we do every end of quarter. I was one of the top 4 high honor student in our class. And whilst waiting for my name with my dad, I actually saw her. And I saw her with her sister, and so when I looked around a bit to check if her parents were there, because I was anxious to talk to her, because every time I see her, I really, really want to talk to her. It's mostly kind of obsessive when I think about it now. And so when she came down and she has her friends, right? She's with her friends who's just scattering all over the venue. She's standing in front of me. Suddenly she's standing in front of me and I'm on her back. Oh, pause. She's standing in front of me and I'm behind her. And besides me was her friend also, which was my classmate. And so I was really anxious of what people might think if I talk to her, because I'm not really that type of person to talk. I'm not really approachable, but I want to think that I am. And this was the period of my life which I am focusing on my mental health and social. So when I actually tried to convince myself that I want to talk to her, suddenly a search of all these excuses and a search of all these scenarios that anything bad would happen just came up into my brain. And it was pretty crowded and I don't really want to do it, but the thought of not being able to take this perfect chance, because I've always wanted to do that perfect time. There's want to wait for the perfect time, but here it is now, and I don't really think that this is the perfect time, but here it is, the closest thing to the perfect time, to the perfect scenario. And so when I have the thought that I'm gonna regret it sooner, and I know that I will, I actually dash forward and just tap her a little bit, and I said, and I tap her like, hey. We were whispering to each other because the venue was so crowded. And I was covering my mouth like this, so just so she could hear me. And I asked her, hey, would your class perform in front of the stage for intermission? Because our class was going for the intermission to do our dance. When I asked her, and I did my mouth like this, just so she could hear, and when I get close to her ear, and I asked her that question, and she didn't hear me the first time, and so I got close to her and close to her. We were basically like doing this shit, bro. And I asked her the question, and she said that, and particularly at that time when she answered, that was the first time I heard her voice. And so I was really, really looking forward to it. And she said that in this really soft voice, in this really cute soft voice that, oh, I don't really know. Oh my god, bro, that just melted my heart. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just wandered off. And after a little while of processing it, I was actually happy. I was actually proud. Like, oh my god, bro, I don't really I can't really express the feeling. But yeah, that was the most wonderful feeling I've got, bro. That was like the biggest achievement. You've hit like 20 subs or something. Okay, so as we did our dance, we did the everything, right? And so it's our turn for our reading of honors for our class, and I waited and seated down on a chair somewhere in the venue. And so after our class, they started started hers. And the thing about this is we didn't really exchange names. We didn't really knew each other, and I didn't really knew her name, what her name was, and I didn't ask her, and I didn't give her mine. And so that time thought I didn't actually think of it as a conversation, but more like just a question between strangers. But bro, that was actually the greatest shit that happened to me this week. Okay, and so after her section was being called, after like the event was going down, the music stopped and the people are already leaving and such, and our teacher requested us for a class picture. So after the picture, I actually challenged myself and said, hey, what if I go to her right now and just congratulate her and talk to her? Like, I've already do the hard part, so why not just do extra now? And so when I did that, I was really anxious. And so she was alone, right? Oh no, she was with her sister, but her sister was sat down on somewhere in the venue, but she was alone, right? She was standing alone and just following her friends. I feel like she's kind of one of those group circles of friends where she's quiet. She doesn't really get involved much, but she's there when they are there. Some do actually care about her, and that trait kind of like resonated with me because as from someone who's been the only guy in a group of friends which are girls, because I don't really resonate with men that much or the boys in our class, and so having that same feeling must have been like some connection between me and her that I only know but back then. And so I was looking for her, right? And so when I saw her, I literally dashed in front of the people. I bumped people in their shoulders and shit, and I just said to her, "Congratulations." And I did it in this passing way. When you're in a hurry and you walk down the street and you see someone that you just said hi and just walk off. And I did it in such a manner. So imagine if dashing down the venue and you just said congratulations, just like just like normal bodies do, bro. Like we didn't even know each other. And so when I did that, the actually funny thing is, after I did that, I turned around full 180 degrees and just went back to our class. And bro, that was absolutely so obvious that my purpose was there just to congratulate her and only her, bro. and so, and after that event, I actually walked home, and it was so rough. I was like hyping myself up. Oh, you did it! Oh my god, you delayed gratification! Oh, walked home happily that time, especially when I got home. So yeah, and so what I realized at that time is discipline plays a huge part in achieving things like this. Little things like goals, little things like fitness goals, relationship goals. Discipline always plays a part, and I think mental health also plays a part. Because at that time I was focusing on my mental health, and I was really optimistic that it would happen. I really think is discipline really helps, especially in the time where I was very much detailed about my brain going through scenarios of something bad happening, and I was pretty overwhelmed. I was pretty much convinced not to do anything, not to talk to her. And so discipline really plays a part, because this was a huge discomfort for me. It was basically the biggest delayed gratification of that day. And so when I delayed gratification, when I talked to her, when I felt discomfort, I got rewarded. And so this is my experience on how I talk to a girl for the first time, how I talk to the girl I like for the first time. And yeah, sacrifice your today for his tomorrow. Bye. Bro, I can't believe I'm actually posting this, bro. Oh man. But yeah, if you haven't noticed, I've got the rough haircut. I don't know if it suits me, but you tell. Pretty sure that it was the first haircut I've gotten. If you don't know, this is called a two block. Just go to your nearest barbershop. But for me, I actually went a salon for this one just so that it could get a properly done. And the hair last time was like a month old. I think that was a really good time, the perfect time to actually get this haircut. And so yeah, if you want it, go get it. Okay, bye.